Once upon a time, two demigods named Nalakubera and Manigriva went into Lord Shiva's garden, next to the Mandakini River. They were playing there, and when sage Narada Muni walked by, they were very disrespectful to him. To teach them a lesson and bless them, Narada cursed them to turn into trees in the very place that would become the garden of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. One day they would be freed from the curse and be able to see Krishna face to face. One fine morning, 36,000 years later, when Krishna was just 2 years old, Mother Yashoda entered that courtyard and began churning butter. The bangles and bracelets on her wrists tinkled as they touched one another. Her earrings shook and beads of perspiration appeared on her forehead due to her intense labor. As she churned butter, she hummed sweetly, remembering her dear son with great affection. Krishna crawled into the courtyard where he found his mother. He felt hungry and wanted to stop her churning and have her sit down to feed him milk. He crawled next to her and pulled on her clothing. Unable to resist her charming son, she took him on her lap to feed him. While Krishna was drinking milk, she was smiling, enjoying the beauty of his moonlight face and his dark curling hair. Mother Yashoda was feeling such bliss when suddenly she remembered that she had left a pot of milk on the stove. She quickly put Krishna down and ran as fast as she could to the kitchen to prevent it boiling over. Left suddenly by his mother like that, Krishna became very angry. He clenched his fists and stomped his feet on the ground in an angry mood. His lips and eyes became red with rage. And then he picked up a stone and threw it at a butter pot. He broke the pot. Krishna then dipped his hand in and began to eat the butter. That was better. He ate more and more, relishing the delicious taste. Smelling the sweet butter from afar, some little monkeys came to join the fun. Krishna was very happy to see them. He picked up the pot and stood up to play with them. The monkeys began to chase him around the garden. What fun they all had as they ran and played. And then they all sat down to enjoy the delicious taste of butter together. Many more monkeys even joined. It was quite a scene. Some monkeys ate right from Krishna's hand, and two clever monkeys looked around for their own pot of butter, which they found and quietly picked up and brought to another place. As they ate the butter and snuck it in together, a few others followed, and the butter bash began. Some threw butter, making a mess, and echoed loud monkey sounds. Others peacefully enjoyed the delicious food taste and were fed again and again by Lord Krishna's very hand. Soon Mother Yashoda came back from the kitchen and saw the broken pot. As she could not see Krishna, she concluded that this must be his work. Oh, this child is very clever, she thought to herself. After breaking the pot, he left this place. He knows he'll be in big trouble now. Mother Yashoda began to look all over the garden for her naughty son. Meanwhile, Krishna and the monkeys were eating and playing, but Krishna was always looking this way and that way in fear of being caught by his mother. Mother Yashoda spotted him. She quietly picked up a stick and very, very slowly approached him from behind. Some of the monkeys noticed Mother Yashoda coming, and they ran away. Krishna also saw her coming and quickly jumped up to run away, and all the monkeys scattered. Mother Yashoda chased Krishna around the courtyard, but try as she might, she could not catch the supreme personality of Godhead. Finally, she did catch up with him, and Krishna was fearful of his mother. He started to cry and rub his eyes with his two lotus hands. Seeing her darling son fearful, Mother Yashoda put down her stick. But she knew she still had to punish him. She placed him near a heavy wooden grinding mortar and began to tie him up so he could not cause any more mischief. But she found that the rope was 2 inches too short. Warning Krishna to stay put, she went to gather more rope to make it longer. She found some rope for tying up cows, and when she returned, Krishna was there waiting, and again she tried to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Once again, she found it was 2 inches too short. She couldn't understand how this could be. She was getting tired, but she went again to find more rope to make it even longer. Surely, this time it will work, she thought to herself. And when she returned, she tried again. And still, it was 2 inches too short. She was so exhausted and confused. How could this be? Krishna, seeing his mother bewildered in this way, he decided to allow himself to be bound up. The Supreme Lord of all the beings, difficult to approach by the greatest yogis, allowed himself to be bound by the loving care of his mother. And finally, Mother Yashoda succeeded. She then told her naughty son that he had to stay there for some time while she finished her household duties. Krishna thought to himself, first Mother Yashoda put me down without feeding me enough milk. And then I fed myself and even gave in charity. And then she bound me up to this mortar, and now she's left me here alone again. It's time to have a little more fun. He looked around the garden and spotted the twin Arjuna trees. Krishna got down on his hands and knees and began to crawl along, dragging the wooden mortar behind him. He came right between the 2 trees, but the mortar got stuck between them. So Krishna pulled and pulled and pulled, and suddenly, crash! The trees fell. Out of the broken trees came 2 beautiful devatas shining in effulgence. They bowed down to Lord Krishna, who they realized had freed them from the curse of Narada Muni. They began circumambulating the Lord and offering beautiful prayers.
Thank you, Krishna, for liberating us.
Lord Krishna began to smile and said to them, you are very lucky. The great devotee Narada Muni has blessed you with pure love for me. So this is your last life in the material world. Now you may go to your Father's house in the heavenly kingdoms, where you will do devotional service to me, and go back home, back to Godhead, in this very life. Mother Yashoda came running when she heard a terrible crashing sound in the garden. She found her Krishna between the broken trees and tried to untie him as quickly as she could. Oh, thank goodness he was safe and unharmed. She hugged him tight with deep love and affection. Soon, all the villagers and even monkeys came to see what happened. And seeing Lord Krishna safe, they began to sing, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Kalela ki, Shri Damodar Krishna ki, Shri Yashoda Mai ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande, Hare